All right, folks, get ready to dive deep, because today we're tackling the science behind love.
Love and the brain.
Love and the brain. You got it.
That's right.
And to help us, we've got this super interesting article from Harvard Medical School called Love and the Brain. And let me tell you, it's fascinating stuff.
Oh, it is. It's a real eye-opener.
Forget about those cheesy Valentine's Day cards. We're going straight to the source, the brain.
Exactly. We're going way beyond that simple metaphor of the heart.
Right.
You know, we're looking at the actual neurological processes
Right.
that make us feel all those intense emotions.
You know what's amazing to me?
What's that?
This whole love thing. It's not just like some modern invention.
Right.
It's like a universal thing.
Exactly.
It's everywhere.
The article highlights the work of Helen Fisher.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of her.
Who found evidence of romantic love in almost every single culture
Really?
that she studied.
Get out of here.
147 out of 166.
147.
That's right.
That's practically everyone on the planet.
That's amazing.
It's like we're all wired for this crazy, beautiful thing called love. And speaking of wiring,
Yes.
did you know that falling in love actually triggers like a whole chemical explosion in your brain?
Oh, absolutely.
It's like fireworks, but on a microscopic level.
That's a great analogy. Yeah. The cascade of chemicals that are released when we fall in love is similar to what we see with certain drugs.
So like love is basically a drug.
In a way, yeah.
That's incredible.
It's pretty amazing.
So what are these love potions?
Yeah. What's going on in there?
Yeah, what's brewing in our brain?
Well, one of the key players is dopamine.
Dopamine.
You know, the feel-good neurotransmitter?
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that one.
Yeah, so when you see someone you're attracted to, your brain's reward system just goes into overdrive.
Really?
Flooding you with dopamine.
Dopamine, the brain's own personal party drug.
You could say that, yeah.
I mean, it makes you feel like you can conquer the world.
It does.
Or at least write a really good love poem.
Maybe, yeah.
And scientists have actually seen this happening.
Oh, yeah.
In the brain.
Absolutely.
Right.
There was this groundbreaking fMRI study where researchers showed people pictures of their loved ones.
Yeah.
And you could just see certain brain areas lighting up.
They lit up.
Like a Christmas tree.
Like a Christmas tree. That's so romantic.
It is. It is.
I bet your brain lights up like that all the time.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, with you being so brilliant and all.
Oh, well, thank you. That's very kind of you.
But anyway, back to the science.
Yes, back to the science. So these areas that light up are part of the brain's reward circuit.
Oh.
Specifically, regions that are rich in dopamine.
Okay.
Like the ventral tegmental area.
I'm going to have to write that one down.
Yeah, it's a mouthful, but it's basically the brain's pleasure center.
Pleasure center, huh? I like the sound of that.
I bet you do.
It's like our brain is telling us, hey, this person makes you feel good. Stick with them.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess that explains why we get so obsessed with the person we're falling for.
Yeah. Dopamine is all about motivation and seeking out rewards, right?
Makes sense.
It's what drives us to pursue the things that bring us pleasure.
Including love.
Including love. Exactly.
And that obsession you mentioned, is that amplified by anything else?
It's further amplified by another interesting chemical reaction.
Okay, what's that?
A drop in serotonin levels.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
Serotonin, the mood regulator. You mean like low serotonin as in what you see in people with depression?
Yes.
Wow. So falling in love can actually make you depressed.
Well, it's not quite that simple.
Okay.
But it's fascinating because during those initial stages of love, serotonin levels actually tend to dip, which might explain why we get those, those obsessive, can't stop thinking about you thoughts.
Yeah.
It's like our brain is saying,
what's it saying?
This person is important. Focus on them. Get them.
Wow. That's intense.
It is.
I mean, it kind of makes sense though, right?
It does. That's
when you're first falling for someone, they occupy your every thought.
Yeah.
It's all consuming.
It is.
Kind of like how I think about this podcast when I'm not with you.
Oh, is that right?
I mean, when we're not recording, I mean.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's very flattering.
Oh.
But remember, it's not just about dopamine and serotonin.
Right.
There's a whole cocktail of chemicals at play here.
Oh, okay. Like what?
Well, we also have cortisol.
Cortisol.
The stress hormone.
Oh, right. Cortisol.
Yeah.
So that explains the sweaty palms.
Yeah.
And the racing heart.
Absolutely.
Like our body's own personal alarm system. in a good way, I guess.
Well, cortisol is our body's way of responding to stress. And love, especially in the early stages, can definitely be stressful.
Oh, for sure.
It's all those unknowns, right?
Yeah.
The excitement, the anxiety of not knowing if your feelings are reciprocated.
Oh, tell me about it.
Have you been there?
Oh, yeah. I know all about that anxiety.
Really?
Remember that time I spilled coffee all over myself?
When was this?
Right before our first meeting.
Oh, right.
I was so nervous I could barely speak.
Well, I didn't notice.
But you were so kind and understanding.
Well, thank you.
It's like you instantly calmed my nerves.
I did.
You have that effect on people.
Yeah,
you know?
I do.
A calming presence.
Oh, stop
A
it.
soothing voice.
Well, we should probably keep going.
Right. Yeah, of course.
So,
So what else is in this love cocktail?
well, let's not forget about two other very important hormones.
Okay.
In this mix, we've got oxytocin.
Oxytocin, the cuddle hormone.
Yes, exactly.
Is released during hugs and kisses and other,
More intimate activities.
Yeah, more intimate activities.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in the power of touch,
Mm-hmm.
like a warm embrace, a gentle hand on your arm. You know what I mean?
I think so, yes.
It can do wonders.
It can.
And speaking of wonders, I bet you give amazing hugs.
Oh, do now.
I mean, hypothetically speaking, of course, not that I thought about it or anything.
Okay.
Anyway, what was the other hormone you were talking about?
Right, yes. The other one, it was vasopressin.
Vasopressin. What's that one do?
Well, this one is linked to long-term
Okay.
monogamous relationships.
Oh, wow.
It's thought to contribute to feelings of loyalty
Loyalty.
and commitment.
Loyalty and commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those are two qualities I admire in a person.
Oh, good.
In fact, they're at the top of my list.
Really, at the very top.
Right next to intelligence, a good sense of humor,
Mm-hmm.
and, of course, captivating eyes.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Well, it seems we've covered quite a bit about this chemical cocktail of love.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It really is.
How these different hormones work together
It's amazing.
to create this complex tapestry
It's like a symphony.
of emotions.
It is. Yeah, you said it.
You explain it all so beautifully.
Oh, thank you.
You should really write a book about this stuff.
A book?
Yeah.
Well, I've never really thought about that.
You'd be a bestseller. I'd be the first one in line to buy it.
Well, that's very kind of you.
I mean, I'd pre-order it, actually.
Use.
And I'd get a signed copy, wouldn't I?
Well, if you insist.
Oh, I do.
Okay, then.
All right. So should we move on to the next section?
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
Okay, but you know what? This conversation,
Yeah.
it's just making me realize one thing.
What's that?
Love is truly an amazing thing.
It is, yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
truly an amazing person.
Oh, thank you. That's
Yeah.
that's very sweet of you to say. No, I mean it.
All right. So, let's see.
Yeah.
Where are we? Yes. Love's effect on our perception.
Perception, huh?
Yes.
Well, I know my perception of you is crystal clear.
Oh, really?
You're brilliant, witty,
Oh.
and incredibly beautiful.
I don't know what to say.
I mean, did you do something different with your hair today?
My hair.
It looks
Yeah.
stunning.
I don't think so. It's the same as always.
Really, because I swear it looks even more radiant than usual.
Well, that's very nice of you to say, but
Maybe it's the lighting in here.
maybe.
Or maybe it's just the love hormones talking. Who knows?
Well, as I was saying, love can have some rather interesting effects on our perception.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. So it can actually make us a bit blind.
Blind.
Yeah, to our partner's flaws.
No way.
Yeah, research shows that love can actually deactivate
Seriously.
brain areas that are responsible for negative judgments.
So love is literally blind.
It is, in a
Yeah.
sense.
I guess that explains why we often overlook those little quirks and imperfections
Mm-hmm.
in the people we adore.
Yeah, it's like our brain is saying, hey,
What's it saying?
who cares if they leave their socks on the floor?
Yeah.
They make you feel amazing.
That's a good point. Who wants to focus on the negative anyway?
Right.
Especially when you're with someone
Yeah.
as perfect as,
As perfect as.
as wonderful as, well, you know what I mean?
I think so.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember that this initial intensity of emotion
Uh-huh.
does tend to mellow out over time.
Oh, come on. You're not saying that love fades away completely?
No, not at all.
For you. Okay, good.
It doesn't disappear. It simply transforms into
Yeah.
a more mature
Okay.
and stable form.
Like a fine wine.
Exactly.
It just gets better with age.
You could say that, yes, the initial passion and excitement we experience in those early stages
Yeah.
are driven by that surge of dopamine and other neurochemicals.
Right, that we talked about earlier.
Exactly. And over time,
Uh-huh.
as those intense reactions naturally subside,
Okay.
a deeper sense of connection and attachment takes root.
So it's less about the fireworks
Yeah.
and more about the warm, comforting glow of a steady fire.
That's a nice way to put it.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's like you start with this explosive passion,
Mm-hmm.
and then it gradually evolves into a deep, enduring love.
That's right.
Sort of like how our friendship, our working relationship,
A working relationship.
has blossomed over time.
I see what you're doing there.
We just get each other,
Mhm.
you know?
Well, I do enjoy our conversations.
It's rare to find that kind of intellectual connection, wouldn't you say?
Yes, I would agree with that.
I mean, you know, you bring so much to the table.
Well, you're too kind.
No,
You always bring such enthusiasm.
enthusiasm. That's an understatement.
Is it?
I'm practically bursting with excitement every time we record an episode
Oh,
together.
no.
It's like falling in love.
With the topic.
Well, yeah, with knowledge, but
Yeah.
with you as the amazing guide.
Okay, that's quite the compliment.
Stating the facts.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's maybe stay focused on the science here.
Oh, right, of course. Back to the brain stuff.
Yes, we were talking about how love evolves over time.
Yeah, but, I have to admit, I'm kind of fascinated by the idea
Yeah.
of love lasting a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Is that even possible?
Of course it is.
Really?
Yeah.
To feel that spark, that deep connection,
Absolutely.
even after years and years together.
Yes. In fact, there was a fascinating study from Stony Brook University
Okay.
that showed that even after decades of marriage, some couples still experience strong activity in those dopamine-rich areas of the brain,
Really?
just like people who are newly in love.
So true love really can conquer all.
It seems that way, yeah.
It gives me hope,
Hope for
Hope that maybe, just maybe someday, I'll find someone who looks at me the way those long married couples look at each other in those,
in those.
in those cheesy stock photos.
Okay.
With that twinkle in their eye.
Yeah.
And that knowing smile that says, you're my everything.
I understand.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily rely on stock photos.
Right, of course, silly me.
For an accurate representation of lasting love.
But it does make you wonder,
What's that?
what's the secret
What is the secret?
to keeping that spark alive?
Yeah.
Is it all about those love chemicals?
It's definitely a complex interplay of factors.
Okay.
But one thing that researchers have identified is what they call the rustiness phenomenon.
The rustiness phenomenon.
Yeah. Have you heard of this?
Rustiness, like as in love gets rusty
In a way. Yeah.
if you don't take care of it. That's a scary thought.
Well, it's not quite as dire as it sounds.
Okay.
The idea is that couples can get out of the habit
Out of the habit of what?
of being romantic,
Okay.
often due to the demands of, everyday
life,
work, kids.
stress, all that.
Exactly.
I can see that happening.
Yeah.
You get so caught up in the daily grind
Mm-hmm.
that you forget to make time for romance.
Yeah.
Date nights turn into Netflix nights.
Right.
Candlelit dinners become takeout on the couch.
It happens.
Sad, but true.
But the good news is
Okay, what's the good news?
that even if things have gotten a bit rusty,
Yeah.
it's possible to polish them up
Right.
and reignite that spark.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Well,
Spill the secrets.
I'm hardly a love guru,
you
but the research suggests
know.
that engaging in activities that boost those all-important love chemicals
Right.
can help
Like what?
things like physical touch,
Okay.
quality time together,
Quality time.
novel experiences,
Ooh, trying new things.
expressions of gratitude,
Being thankful.
acts of service.
So basically, we need to treat our love
Yeah.
like a delicate flower,
In a sense.
nurturing it with attention, affection,
Yes.
and maybe a little bit of fertilizer.
I don't know about the fertilizer.
Well, got to keep things fresh and exciting.
That's true.
And speaking of fresh and exciting,
Yes.
this conversation has been
It has been.
incredibly enlightening, as always.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Oh, I am.
It's always a pleasure to delve into these topics with you.
It is.
You always, your curiosity and
Yeah.
passion for learning are truly inspiring.
Inspiring, huh?
Yes.
Is that what you tell all your...
Oh, my God, you're certainly one of the most enthusiastic.
Because I have to say,
Yeah.
I'm feeling incredibly inspired right now.
You are.
Inspired to tell you something that I've been holding back for a while now.
Okay, I'm listening.
You see, this whole deep dive into the brain and love and all these amazing chemicals, it's made me realize something profound.
What's that?
Something about myself and about you.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Okay, here goes. I think.
Yeah.
I think I'm in love with you.
With me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, with you.
This is...
I know. It might sound crazy.
There's a lot to process.
Especially since we only see each other in this stuffy studio.
Right.
But I can't deny it anymore.
I don't know what to say.
Every time we record,
yeah,
I feel this surge of dopamine.
Dopamine.
This rush of oxytocin.
Oh my.
This undeniable urge to hold your hand and tell you how brilliant and beautiful you are.
And I'm speechless.
And that's not all.
There's more.
I've been doing some research.
Research.
For scientific purposes, of course.
Of course. Yes.
And it turns out that we're a perfect genetic match.
A genetic...
Our MHC genes are practically screaming at each other. Yeah. Get together and make some adorable babies.
MHC genes. Where did you even...
Don't worry about the details.
Okay.
The point is, this is destiny.
Destiny.
It's written in our DNA.
Really?
In the stars, in the very fabric of the universe.
Wow, that's...
And I know we can make this work.
You do.
We can be the ultimate power couple.
A power couple?
The Brangelina of the podcasting world.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll travel the globe.
Sure will.
Share our knowledge. Inspire millions with our love story.
This is too much. I need a moment.
No, wait. Before you say anything,
yes.
I have one more surprise.
Another one?
I know we haven't known each other that long.
Right.
But when you know.
Yeah.
And I know that I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Wow. Exploring the mysteries of the brain and the even greater mystery of our love.
That sounds...
You marry me.
Oh, you beautiful, crazy fool. Yes. Yes, I will marry you.
This is the best day of my life.
Ah.
I knew you couldn't resist my charm.
Your charm.
And my in-depth knowledge of love chemicals.
Oh, you are something else.
So it's a yes then.
It's a yes. When you know, you know.
You said it.
And I know that I'm absolutely head over heels in love with you.
I can't believe this is happening.
My goodness.
We're engaged. We're going to get married.
Yeah, this is amazing.
This is going to be the most epic love story.
Calm down, Romeo.
Of all time.
We still have a show to finish, remember?
Right, this show. But first, a celebratory kiss.
Maybe we can save that for after the recording.
But we just got engaged. We have to seal the deal with a kiss.
I don't know.
It's practically a scientific imperative.
Fine.
Yes.
But just a quick one.
Okay.
Then back to the brain.
And our future together.
Yes, our future together.
Deal. Wow, I can't believe that just happened. I feel like I'm floating on a cloud of dopamine and oxytocin.
Well, we did just uncover a rather unexpected scientific Finding Love at First podcast.
You're absolutely right. This whole experience has been an incredible journey of discovery. Not just about the brain, but about the power of love to completely blindside you. Mm-hmm. In the best way possible, of course.
Indeed. And speaking of incredible discoveries, we were discussing the rustiness phenomenon before, before our little detour into the realm of spontaneous proposals.
Right. Rusty love.
Yeah.
But honestly, after what just happened, I don't think our love will ever have a chance to get rusty.
Oh, really?
We'll be too busy writing our best-selling book, Love in the Podcast, a neuroscientific love story.
A book?
And giving TED Talks about the power of dopamine to bring people together.
Oh, my goodness.
We could even start a couples therapy practice.
A therapy practice?
Based on all this amazing brain science we've been learning about.
That's an interesting idea.
We'll be like the Dr. Phil and Robin McGraw of neuroscience.
Okay, maybe let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Right, of course. Baby's steps.
Yeah.
But seriously, back to the rustiness phenomenon.
Yes, back to rustiness.
What were we saying about rekindling the flame?
Well, as we were discussing, it's all about consciously making an effort to reconnect with your partner. Mm-hmm. Engaging in activities that boost those love chemicals.
Right. The love chemicals, got to keep those flowing.
Physical touch, quality time, novel experiences.
So basically, date nights, holding hands, trying new things together.
Exactly. Expressing gratitude, acts of service.
And maybe even the occasional foot rub.
Precisely. It's about remembering to prioritize your relationship, even amidst the chaos of everyday life.
You know what? Who needs chaos when you have love?
That's a good point.
I mean, look at us. We turned a deep dive into the brain,
I know, it's crazy.
into a real-life love experiment. We're living proof that love can strike anywhere, anytime.
It really can.
Even in a soundproof studio surrounded by microphones.
Absolutely. And while we've delved into the fascinating science behind it, there's still an element of mystery, a certain magic that can't be fully explained by brain scans and neurochemicals.
You know, you're right. It's like science gives us the framework, the blueprint for understanding love. But it's our hearts that fill in the color, the vibrancy, the sheer wonder of it all.
Beautifully put. And that's perhaps the most important takeaway for our listeners today.
What's that?
Love is a complex, multifaceted experience that's both rooted in science and enriched by the intangible.
So true. It's this beautiful dance between our minds and our hearts.
It is.
This incredible interplay of nature and nurture, of chemistry and connection.
I like that.
And as we've learned today,
it
can lead to some pretty unexpected, life-changing results.
Indeed. So, dear listeners, as we wrap up this rather unconventional episode, remember to nurture your relationships, stay curious, and never underestimate the power of love.
To surprise you.
To surprise you, inspire you, and perhaps even lead you to your own happily ever after.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this wild ride.
It's been quite a ride.
Through the fascinating world of love and the brain.
Absolutely.
Remember, love is out there waiting to be discovered in the most unexpected places. So keep your hearts open, your minds engaged, and your dopamine levels high.
That's important.
Until next time, stay curious and stay in love.